This is Jarrod Horak, and I'm back with my second video this week. I just did the Road to the Kentucky Oaks video series. I took a look at the Santa Ynez Stakes from Santa Anita Park in my first video, and now in this video, the Road to the Kentucky Derby 2023 video series. I'm going to do the Smarty Jones Stakes from Oaklawn Park. Top 5 finishers earn Kentucky Derby points, 10 points to the winner, 4 for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and then 1 for finishing fifth. If you're interested in my full card analysis from Santa Anita Park, their winter meet began on December 26th. So I'm covering full cards each day. You can purchase individual full cards, weekly and weekend packages, or the entire meet at therunawayhorse.com on my sales page. I'm off to a fast start at Santa Anita Park. And if you want to take a look at my full card recaps, I recap the stakes races, I do full card highlights, I look at the leading jockeys and trainers, and I do some looking at the track bias information, all that information and more. You can find that on my California page at therunawayhorse.com. Now we're going to get into the analysis of this video, and I'm going to be doing from Oaklawn Park for Sunday, January 1st, 2023. Happy New Year. It's going to be the 8th race at Oaklawn Park, the $250,000 Smarty Jones Stakes. 3-year-olds traveling 1 mile around 2 turns on the main track with the scheduled post time, 5:10 p.m. Eastern. CJ Storm is number 1, 30-1 morning line, and I can see this one impacting the pace. Last time out, 5.5 furlongs in the mud at Oaklawn. He was tracking the pace early, and then he retreated, and he finished 8th in a 9-horse field. Prior to that, this Indiana bred broke his maiden going wire to wire at 1 mile in Indiana. So that was a decent effort there, winning by 8 lengths, but he's going to have to run much faster. But I can see him at least being a brief pace factor from the inside post. How did he do that is number 2 for trainer Steve Asmussen. This one is a son of Good Magic, and Isaac Castillo will ride. And this 12-1 shot has won a couple times. Broke his maiden at 7 furlongs at Churchill Downs. Maiden claiming 150,000, was all over the pace there. The Zia Park Juvenile at 6 furlongs on November 22nd was all over the pace in that one, and he won by a couple lengths. Last time out, maybe didn't care for the wet track, finished 5th by 12 at Oaklawn in the Advent, and then in the Clever Trevor in the Slop, he was 6th by 12. So his 2 wet track races didn't really run particularly well, but his last 2 fast track races, he won those races. So I can see him impacting the pace in here, but I don't know that he's good enough to compete with these at this distance, at this class level. Number 3, Communication Memo, is probably the better of the Steve Asmussen trainees. $125,000 son of Bolt Doro. This one, a well-beaten 3rd in his debut. It was 3rd again, second time out. He was beaten 7 lengths, and the horse that won that race second time out is the favorite in this race. That is Victory Formation. So he was well beaten by the favorite in this race second time out. And then in his next start, they added blinkers, and he ran a better race. He was second beaten a length. That was at Churchill Downs at 6.5 furlongs on November 19th. And then they stretched him out in distance at Oaklawn Park last time out, and he chased from second, and he took over, and he won by more than 4 lengths. He had Lasix on there. He does lose Lasix, but he is improving, and he did improve with blinkers in his last couple, and he has technical speed in an inner post. I think he's got a shot in here. Number 4, Western Gent for trainer Dwayne Lucas. This one is a son of American Pharaoh, and this is his 9th career start already, so he's been very busy. And most of those races were in sprint races. He did break his maiden at Saratoga, maiden claiming 75,000. Then he was up the track in the Grade 1 hopeful. They put him back in an optional claiming race in his next start at 6 furlongs at Keeneland, and he was a well-beaten 3rd. And then in his last 2 starts, around 2 turns in the Slop in the Grade 3 Street Sense, 10th by 41. Fast track Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, 9th by 29. So he hasn't beaten a single horse around 2 turns yet. He looks like he's up against it. 10 days later is a contender in here for trainer Kenny McPeak, and he's 7-2 morning line. This one is a son of Collected. Awesome again is the dam sire. So you're looking at that pedigree, you kind of knew he was going to be a decent route type. He rallied for 3rd in his sprint debut, just ran out of ground there. He needed that race, stretched him out on turf second time out of Kentucky Downs, and he rallied to finish 3rd. They moved him back to the main track, and he was an even 4th in his next start, and then he really picked up the pace in his last pair. At Keeneland on October 20th, from post 12 in a 12-horse field, he ended up rallying to win that one by 3/4 of a length. That was a slow early, fast late race. Good effort there as the favorite. first start against winners at Churchill last time on the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes undercard that day. And in that race, in an optional claiming race, he rallied from 11 lengths back to finish third, beaten less than a length. So that was a good race. He was finishing fast that day. Now he's going to cut back to a mile. I don't love that he's cutting back to a mile, but those late pace ratings that he's been earning have been strong. He's really improving. That nice maiden win from post 12, that good effort on that Kentucky Jockey Club undercard, and he ran much faster than they did in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. The horse that won the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes was Instant Coffee. He was the favorite. He was my top choice that day for trainer Brad Cox. He ran the mile on a 16th in 1:45 and 1. Now this optional claiming race that 10 days later comes out of, they ran in 1:43 and 3. So that was a much faster race, and he was really booking at the end. So I think he's got a shot here if the pace heats up. Denington is next, and he comes out of the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes for trainer Ken McPeak. He was fifth, beaten a length and a half. Now, other than the winner there, Instant Coffee ran a decent enough race, solid but not spectacular. The rest of the field was really bunched up behind him, and this one was rallying wide. So I'm really not sure about the overall strength of that race, and it wasn't a particularly fast race, and I'm going to try to beat him at 4-1. Number 7, Angel of Empire for trainer Brad Cox, one of 2 Brad Cox trainees in here, and he's 2 for 3 lifetime. Won his debut in the Slop in Indiana. He stalked the pace that day. Turf sprint, second time out of Kentucky Downs, he was no threat. And then in his last start, Indiana again, 1 mile. He rallied from 7th place to win going away. So he won both of his 1 mile races in Indiana, and now he's going to step up and face much better horses in here, and he'll try to rally from off the pace. Victory Formation is the one to beat in here. 6-5 morning line for trainer Brad Cox. Taprit the sire, Smart Strike the damn sire. He's bred to go on. They paid $340,000 for him, and with Flavian Prat aboard, he could be the one to catch. He won his debut at Keeneland. He got out there, set the pace, pulled clear by almost 5 lengths. Runner-up was a next out winner. In his second start, he showed some tenacity in there. He broke from an inner post. He was battling on the pace, but he never gave up. He was battling for the lead. Like I said, he lost that lead, and then he came back again and he won by a neck. So that was a good effort, and now he's going to stretch out in his 3rd career start. That's typically a good angle. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just got out there, set the pace, and wired the field. So he's certainly the one to beat. So Victory Formation is the one to beat in here, and I would not be surprised at all if he won at 6-5 morning line. And don't expect that 6-5 to hold up. I think they're going to hammer him. He's going to be probably less than even money. I'm going to go with 10 Days Later as my top choice for all the reasons that I mentioned. With the race he comes out of was faster than the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes, which was a Kentucky Derby points race on that same day at Churchill. And his late pace ratings are improving. Those last 2 races were much better. So he looks like a horse for Ken McPeak that is continuing to get better in these distance races. So I think he could be a bigger threat maybe in some of the other Oaklawn Park races later this year if they keep him there. I think with some bigger fields and maybe some more pace help and more distance, he could be better. But there's a chance that with some horses stretching out in distance in here that he will get enough pace help and get the job done. So for my value top choice, 10 Days Later will be that top choice. And Victory Formation, definitely my second choice in here. I think he has a very good chance to win. He is the one to beat. And if he gets out there, clears the field, they might not get him. And then Communication Memo will round out my top 3. So how I'll play this race, I will make a win wager on number 5, 10 Days Later. We'll play an exacta box with 10 Days Later and Victory Formation. That's the 5 and 8. And then a trifecta, we're going to put the 5 and 8 on top. And then we're going to use 3, 4, 8 in second and third. So that trifecta looks like 5, 8 with 3, 5, 8 with 3, 5, 8. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content. And that will wrap up this video. I'll be back next week. I'll be doing some more Road to the Kentucky Derby and Oaks videos. And until I see you next time, good luck at the races.